Hey guys, I am Melissa Morrow with Vintage Redesign, and today is going to be a little bit of a different video. Market is next week. We have our biggest market of the year, Diamonds in the Rust, here in Jacksonville, and we are in heavy production mode. You can probably hear the power tools going on in the room behind me. And so today, rather than doing several little DIY projects, I'm going to show you what we made. I will still give you some DIY steps though, so let's get to it. I'll start off here. This was last week's piece. It was in the staging spot. And since then, I have taken some little leftover wood pieces. For these, I went ahead and added some texture medium to DIY Paint's Gravel Road, making it pretty thick so that I could brush it on heavily or trowel it on. I used a variety of textures for these. Then once they were completely dry, I painted over them with some French millinery, also by DIY Paint, and then I white waxed them. I drilled a hole in the top, added some lavender and a little bit of moss, a little bow, and these are gonna be a quick $4.95 out of complete scrap material. I also have this great candlestick. I will show you the DIY on that one. So I actually love the patina on this candlestick as it is, but unfortunately it has a lot of damage. So there are pieces that are chipping and cracking all over it, and it is resin underneath. So it is going to have to get a paint job. I added about a heaping tablespoon to about a half a cup of Fusion Bedford, and I am going to pounce the thick mixture all over this piece, and this is going to sort of eliminate the look of anywhere that it was chippy, and it'll also give it texture for the next part of the process. When I was painting it, I noticed that it had this chipped foot. So I've decided to break out my creative paper clay, and I am going to fill that with creative paper clay. Honestly, when this is done, I know that there's a foot broken, but when I spin it around to look at the legs, I'm not even sure which leg was broken. So it came out absolutely perfect. I let that dry for several hours, and now I am going to be using Dixie Belle's patina paint in the color bronze, and I'm going to give this 2 coats. The first coat needs to dry completely, and then after the second coat we put on, while it's still wet, we will add the magic mix. I have poured some of the patina spray. In this case, I used the color blue. There's blue and green available, and I am painting it on pretty heavily so that it drips down the candlestick. I actually, after about 20 minutes, felt like I needed more, so I came and did this a second time. This will give you a true authentic patina because in the paint itself, there are metal flakes. So you're having it activated with the patina spray and create a true reaction to the metal in the paint. If this is the patina you want, you can absolutely leave it like this. However, I decided I wanted it a little bit darker, and I definitely wanted to seal this since I will be selling this. So I'm using one of my JRV brushes, and I am using some Wise Owl furniture salve, which comes in all kinds of great colors. This is similar to a wax, and it just comes out with a really strong, lustrous finish. I've got to stage these items, of course, to get some cute pictures. Sue started the makeover on this box, but we never liked the relief, and the paint started chipping off a little bit, and so she just kind of put it away and forgot about it. After that, it sat on our craft shelves for probably 2 years because frankly, I didn't like the Egyptian motif. While I like Egyptian stuff, it just didn't match our aesthetic. So I am going to hide that motif and change it up a bit to match our decor a little bit better. I have mixed Dixie Belle's pine cone with some salt wash, and I am just troweling it all over the raised panels. I also added some scraps of Prima's dark floral decoupage paper to the open panels on the sides. Now I'm going to do a raised stencil over the top with Prima's Rust Effects. This is a thick, gritty paste that works really well for the raised stencils. After all of that dried thoroughly, leaving it overnight, I then pounced a mixture of Fusion Algonquin with some salt wash and pounced it all over the piece so I could sand it back and have that Rust Effects brown popping through the top. Combining salt wash and fusion seems to create a very rock hard surface, and I decided if I was going to make any progress, I really needed to use an orbital sander with a 220 grit sandpaper. This one, tons of texture. Let you see the side where it started off. It is a big improvement. So these little lambs, you see I've got 23 of them. I don't know where the 24th one went off to. But I purchased these wholesale for less than $1 each. And then this is the leftover scrap wood from planking these tops. And I'll show you this piece here in a few minutes. But this was actually fence. We replaced our fence last year and we took off all the fence wood and we are planking some of the tops. You saw that in last week's video as well. To increase the value, if I just painted the little sheep, my fear is that I'd probably only get about $3 or $4. So by adding some little additions and making a little vignette out of it, I have decided to price them at $12.95. We'll see at market how I do, but this is a great way to increase the value of some of your smalls. And these all started off as signs that I had last year. Believe it or not, this is a single sheet of JRV paper. And if you watched my video from a couple weeks ago, I also did all of the bead garland with hang tags from the same sheet of JRV paper. So these are all projects. This is actually a napkin, but I've got these at $6.95. Let me kind of go through, let me make a space here and kind of go through some of these because I want to show you how I treated the bigger ones. Show you just, these are really just decoupaged on. I didn't do anything extra to these. And I think they're really adorable. So the small ones are $6.95 and the large ones are $8.95, I think. Yep, $8.95. These are, I believe, 6 by 6. So my decoupage paper wasn't wide enough in this case, but it was tall enough. So what I did was a raised stencil, and then I filled in the raised stencil with chalk paste and then sanded it back so you have that. So I think it made a really nice little frame. And then, you know, I antiqued it a little bit as well with some dark wax. So I think these came out really charming. Again, all from one sheet of JRV paper. This is the vintage Easter. I'm sold out of it, but I'm sure other retailers have it. So I think those were really cute. These were nice, fast projects. I expect to sell all of these at market. I've got this cute little basket of carrots. I saw these on a video that Julie's Design and Signs did on Instagram the other day. So I've got these each priced at $3.95. These were spindles that we cut apart, drilled a hole in the middle, painted them. This is Florida Orange by Dixie Belle, and then, you know, distressed and antiqued. And then I used a half sphere that I actually cut apart. See, I have this box of spindles. This is actually what the carrots looked like before. And so we just cut them right here on all of them. So I got 2 carrots per spindle. And I might have to make some more, but you can definitely see more projects are going to be coming out of this box. Just pulled this from my garage. Okay, now I had some bunnies last year that did not sell. They were these distressed bunnies on the platform, and they had a bow, but I think the bow was a little garish. So I decided to make them French bunnies, little lapins, and added cute little bows. It does go around their little necks. Cute, nice, ruffly bows. We added some transfers and some moss. And I think the transfers and the moss and the big bow versus a single, you know, regular loop bow really took these to the next level. So we had 3 of these bunnies left over from last year also. They were white on a wood stand. Again, these had a black check, like buffalo plaid bow around their neck. So I changed out the bow to a nice big fluffy bow. I put one of the transfers on. These are from Classic Vintage Labels. Then I added moss and I added a little nest full of eggs. And I think this makes a nice centerpiece. And so that it would have some impact on the other side, we also used some JRV decoupage paper on the back side so it would look pretty no matter which side you looked at. Now, these little baskets of eggs, I got this idea from Heather at Create Your Own Cozy. She had almost these exact same glasses and made them over. She had a Turkish tea set and mine was very similar. And these little glasses have been sitting on our to do something with table for years. And we finally made a little project out of them. The eggs are, I believe, Dollar Tree eggs. And Sue is working on some furniture out in the workshop area. She has redone this tabletop for this little ice cream table and 4 chairs. This is done with Tobacco Road in the Voodoo Gel Stain by Dixie Belle. Here you can see the chair legs along with a lot of other stuff that'll be going to market. As you can see, everybody is working today. My husband is actually doing his own thing. He likes to do wood turning. You can check out his channel. I'll leave a link below. Sue is working on this table that will be at market. The chairs are already done, so she is just sanding off the top. It had some scratches and dents, so it needed a little work. I'm filming.
Huh?
I'm filming.
Okay.
My son, who works for Vintage Redesign full-time, made this new display wall. We actually have 2 of these large panels. They will be our back wall at market next week, and of course, I'll be sharing videos. He's also working on another display piece. These will replace the large structure that we typically have at market every year. And so this is a dresser that I'm finishing up. Sue will redo the top for me. This is decoupage paper that we no longer carry. It was Grace on Design. They no longer sell in the US, so we don't have any more, but I had this roll and thought it was the perfect piece for here. So I really am proud of myself I want you to take a look at this sort of wood. Now I did these drips, but take a look at what the wood looks like here on wood. It looks like here, and this is how I translated it to the side. Now I did this with DIY paint, and my furniture videos never do well, so I didn't bother filming this, but I did want you to see to the end product. These, of course, are the in the garden molds, and I've added some different waxes to them. I want them to look a little bit rustic, but also, you know, a little bit pretty. So I'm very pleased with how this piece is coming out. I think once it gets its nice tobacco top, that it's going to be a really nice piece, and I believe it will sell quickly. I also managed to get this pair of side tables done, and these we picked up. They were really beaten up, but I love the way they look. Oh, I still need to put knobs on them. I love the way they look. They're slightly mismatched, but they look very similar to each other, so we're counting them as a matching set. But here you can see what the front and the sides look like, and I think they're really nice. They were already sort of this coastal green color, and so I really wanted to accentuate that without having to do a lot of work to repaint the insides. So I picked a transfer. This is in Bloom, I think. I'll look it up and put it in the notes. And I added a little bit of texture here and there because there was some, you know, wear on it, and some little gold accents. I did a raised stencil on the side. This is a Dixie Belle stencil. It's one of my favorites. And so again, I'm really pleased with how these came out. And I am not ready to pull this big mammoth piece out and do a really nice stage picture. I will try to do that before we go to market so that I have it for my portfolio. But this was a very plain piece. Love the nice flat front. It is a little plain. It's not very interesting. I think we need to add a lot of dimension to this piece and get it looking for like a little boy's room or something fun. And I don't know, I have a lot of these hot air balloons left over from a different project, And then I did end up opening another tube of them. These are Dixie Belle transfers, but I think that it came out really charming. The other side looks exactly like this side with the stripes and just the black and white hot air balloons. I feel like it's perfect for like a kid's room, something like that. I think it would be really fun. And it didn't really have any kind of top on it. That's just how this was made. And so we used the fence wood. This is what I showed you earlier. And it looks so much nicer having a top on it. And I have spent some time trying to finish up this piece. I still need to add some molds to the top and the bottom of each side and then gild those. But I did dark wax it. I added transfer paper. This is Prima. This is a CC design. So I added some decoupage paper to the side and again did some dark waxing and gilding on the hardware. So I'm hoping to have this piece ready for market as well. I think we'll have a lot of good and interesting stuff. My son's about to go take the drawer to go get it fixed. Now, of course, in the aftermath, this is what my craft table looks like. I'm sure some of you can relate. So I'm gonna have to get this under control, but that's probably not gonna happen until I'm done crafting. And just so you can see the fun, I've been picking things off of here to upcycle or use in displays. And that's our holiday decor that sort of is out of season, but I've been pulling from here to try to upcycle anything that was left over from last year. So yeah, we're making progress. These are the stencils I have for sale and some product that will go to market. So that's where we are. We have been working really hard the last week. All of that has gotten done in the last week since you saw me last. So you could see we've been just busting it out. I haven't had a lot of video time to do every project, but I hope you enjoyed the projects that I did get to show you. And I will see you again next Sunday. Week will be market, so you'll be seeing us from market. Of course, we'll show you our setup and keep you filled in as to how we do, what are good sellers, things like that, so you can help improve what you do at market. I hope you guys have a great week. If you liked this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps our channel. Bye, guys.